Is it nice to be back? I'll start cranking stuff out of here like it's a sausage factory. Y'all going, where you been, baby? I've been over here working on stuff. Now, the last couple weeks, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I have been a little busy being behind the scenes, not telling anybody what I'm doing. We had a bunch of stuff to go over to Joliet, and a bunch of stuff we had to take care of over there, but got that out of the way. And then the other major thing is I am training my replacement at my full-time job. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give this a whole lot more attention. So things are going to get ready to change around the BBI camp for the better. So one of the first things I need to get out of the way is this little 100 amp supply that I built for my buddy Superstar, Mr. Steve. Steve, here's your 100 amp. Continuous duty, variable voltage, not no hacked together variable voltage, actually built into the power supply, which we'll get into in a minute. Variable voltage power supply. And what we got here is a bench 4-pill, which is going to represent load. It's going to put about 110 amps on this thing. It's a 100 amp continuous, and it's got built-in internal protection, crowbar protection for anything over 125, and it cuts out. Here's your terminals on the back. And you said you wanted to go with the blue theme. Well, you got blue, but it's real subtle. Because I know you're going to have this in your radio room, and you don't want to be like, it's so bright, PBI, you screwed me. No, I don't want that. So, anyhow, here's our positive and negative leads going over our 4-pill. Now, we're not going to focus so much on the watt meters. So that's 1,000 watt Silgan PEP, 1,000 and average 5 watts on conversion. We're going to sit here and look at this. 128 amps worth of draw, and it stays within 0.2 of a volt. And then when you overload it, it shuts off. Now, what I wanted to do that intentionally, I meant to do that intentionally, so I want to show you, Steve, what happens when you overload it. First thing you're going to check, you're going to come back here and make sure your 15 amp fuse that's in the back is in good condition, which it is. And if you would have been listening in the background, you would have heard a little relay go pop. You cannot break this power supply, Steve. You just can't do it. You can't overload it. Like, if you had a bunch of those little LED modules and you overloaded them, chances are you're going to pop one of them. The magic little stuff that's inside this son of a bitch will not let you do it. Just shut it off. If you ever crowbar it, just shut it off, wait, and you're going to wait about 4 or 5 seconds, and you're going to hear click. After you've inspected your 15 amp fuse that's on the back, turn it back on, and you're back to the races and running. What we're going to do is we're going to turn down our mic gain up here so we don't push it so freaking hard. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Now, all that aside, this thing is exactly what it's designed to be. One of the best things that you can buy with money. It's got a big cabinet with nothing in it. I shit you not, Steve. You can pick this up with 2 fingers. So, let me take the tin off. Let's get this amp moved out of the way for a moment. Let me show you the inside of your new power supply, Steve. Now, Steve, I want to show you this. These aren't cardboard. This is actual 1/8 inch thick load-rated fiberglass board that we went in and texture painted for you. I was doing that high gloss, and it seemed like if you just touched it with your finger, it was getting scratched. So I've gone to a semi-textured black paint on these that's 3 layers thick. Anyhow, here's the inside of your power supply. It's a big empty cabinet, Steve. So I told you we got a lot of room for expansion if you want. We can easily click another module in here. Now, this is the Meanwell RSP 1500-1200. Okay. This power supply will never put out anything over 15 volts. The amp meter gauge is on the front wanders up a little bit. This thing will shut down if you go to 14.9 volts. Clicks off. And I did that for a safety reason. Okay. If you give one of these guys a variable knob, they get themselves in trouble. We were just laughing about this in Pal Talk today. Somebody was asking 123 on Pal Talk today about power supplies, and he says, no, I don't do these. And I don't blame him. Honestly, don't blame him, because if you use those little LED modules and you set it up to where they can go up to like 17, 18 volts, you're going to end up sending a power supply to somebody and they're going to end up popping a box. And guess what? It's always the builder's fault. It's never the buyer's fault. It's never the guy that hooks the amp up backwards or hooks up the watt meter that gets so hot that the freaking amplifier catches on fire because it won't let the RF. It's the builder's fault. It's always the builder's fault. So Steve, now, on the other hand, is a very smart individual who I've come to actually consider a good friend, and he's a really good guy. But Steve, I kept it so you can't get yourself in trouble. I did this intentionally. This power supply over here is basically the same unit internally. This is the RSP 1500-15, okay? It's a 100 amp supply. Steve, this is a 125 amp supply. The difference lies in the voltage rating, okay? The reason is that you can take this one to 19.5 volts from a 13.5 volt base, where this one is 10 volts all the way to 13.8 or 13.9 is what I got this one set at. These are neat. These actually have load sense, load share capability, okay? So you can set up, and I hate the term, you can set up one power supply. I'm not going to use the term master and slave. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You can send one up, set up, and that's even in the manual they call it that. You can have one power supply be the primary power supply. So it controls up to 5 other modules, right? So all you got to do is hook up your control wires. Now there's a CAN plug that's on the front of these units, right down in here, that allows you to plug in and do all the auxiliary controls, okay? That's what we did with this one over here. This is a 5K ohm variable resistor that we have in the front. This is the best switch mode supply money can buy that is somewhat affordable. This unit right here, brand new, was $390 and some change. Now you can go get them cheaper off of eBay. I bought this one from Mouser, of course, and I bought this one from Mouser, and then I got a big case of them that I bought from Prime. So, like I said, it is exactly what it is. Here's your 400 amp meter shunt, my friend. You will never be able to reach the bottom end of this metering gauge, but this thing won't lie to you. I'm telling you, when this thing sees more than 125 amps, it shuts off. It protects the $300 plus supply that's in here, and it makes it so, well, you can't get yourself in trouble. Now, I know my friend Stevie's going to hook up some really high dollar radios to this thing, and I could not in good conscience give him a bunch of little stack modules. Even the 50 amp ones, I was just like, no, I want one unit built by the best manufacturer. Now, there are a couple others that are out there that are 4 and 5 times the value of this. I don't see any added advantages electrically to them whatsoever. But Steve, I built you a 120 amp power supply. This thing is auto sense, Steve. It doesn't matter. You can plug this into a 110 outlet or 220. It don't make a friggin' bit of difference. It's got a 110 plug on it right now. And of course the standard color code applies: white, black, green. Green ground, black primary hot, white's return, but in a 220 situation, the white is also going to be a primary leg. And your ground is going to be your green wire. Chop the plug off and put it on 220. Plug it right in the wall. Don't even need to get in here. It automatically senses what its input current is, and it spits out exactly what you want it to do. This will run slightly better, exactly that much better, on 220. But for what you're going to use it for, to run a couple little radios and a few other things, set your voltage where you want it, set it off in a corner, turn it on, forget about it. That's it. Well, Mr. Steve, I hope you appreciate it, brother. We got you banged out. Now, I'm going to start clicking these down, you guys. I've got 11 more builds in the pipe right now. 11 more. And then I'm going to take me a break. And what I mean by that is I'm going to go focus on repairs because I physically run out of room for repairs here again. I'm full, but keep sending them because I'm doing stuff on the in-between new builds. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repairs in process right now on the bench. So you guys are going to see a bunch of videos in the next 24 to 48 hours, depending on how fast YouTube will let me throw them onto the inner boobly. Don't get overloaded. Enjoy your amp porn. Power supply porn is what it is. I'm a busy man. I'm doing what I can. On that note, keep sending me the work. Now, I'm not saying I don't have a list. I'm like Santa Claus, man. I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. I figure probably about the time August or September this year, I will be about 100% caught up and I'll start taking new orders again. I'm not going to let the list grow the way it did last year. Like I said, I haven't taken a new order since the beginning of the year, and I'm still over here cranking stuff out. So busy, busy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Anyhow, gentlemen, as we like to say, my name is BBI, and without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Now, you can come find me on Facebook, but I don't know for how much longer. Facebook is growing increasingly gay to me, and it's kind of taken away from the hobby. There's so many people hating on each other right now on Facebook that I don't participate in, and I say this a lot. I don't participate in it. It's not my place to participate in it. It's not my place to get involved. It's not my place to have an opinion. Oh, there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of opinions about me, and I appreciate the attention. I think it's cute and childish in the same breath. But you can come find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and right here on the YouTuber. Remember, don't be a radio princess. Yeah, you turn into a radio princess, we're going to start making fun of you. Anyhow, come find me right here on YouTube. Make sure to click the subscribe button, and you get to follow along with the little cast of characters that I got going on. And by the way, guys, thank you very much. I've now got over 4,000 plus YouTube subscribers, and that's totally awesome. And we got a lot of fun projects coming up. We got a 4CX 5000 getting ready to come out. We'll probably re-rolling that out here in the next 3 or 4 months. And then I got a 20,000, and oh, yeah, the other thing that I've been working on. Vader's getting an upgrade. I think we're going to turn it into the Death Star. Just saying. Gentlemen, on to the next project. You got any questions that can't be answered on the webpage, call that number right there. We're still very much rocking and rolling over here in Idaho. I'll see ya. Steve, enjoy. I'll call you on the phone tomorrow, man. It'll be on its way to you. Bye.